you can ask it to generate a note in a variety of formats, whether it's a SOAP note format, multiple sections, you name it. The note it generates is pretty bad. And let's say that you're like the other three doctors that are from my practice that are here today, and you write phenomenal clinical notes, you will hate the note that now it creates for you. In fact, it will stress you out that I've asked you to use this AI-generated chart note. But what we did find is that if you take just the transcript and you copy it and you move it into ChatGPT, your private practice's workspace ChatGPT, and you continue to train and prompt it. So at first you say, using this transcript, generate a clinical note for me. It'll do something pretty vanilla. And then you say, I've uploaded 3 versions of Dr. Kang's surgical reports. Using his voice, create a clinical note for me. And it'll get a little better. And then you'll say, using the American Academy of Perio's format for clinical exams, now generate a note. And so as you work with it, I would love to tell you that it's like it just learns it right away. It's certainly a work in progress, but we're only a few months into its use, and really, honestly, I think just adopted it very seriously over the last month. And so I believe that this will continue to help us save time, keep the engagement between the people in the room and not the person in the computer. Okay? And I'll demo this with you today. Like I want you guys to see how we're using it. As I mentioned, we then have a ChatGPT workspace, and the way that this works is not unlike a Google Apps account. So who's in the Google ecosystem for your book practice? Nobody uses like Charlie Kim at Charlie Kim Dentistry. What's Charlie Kim Dentistry? Is it supported by, okay. So it's Gmail, right? It's a Gmail account. The Gmail ecosystem, the Google ecosystem is really quite powerful because you can share, it's like Teams, it's just another version of Teams if you guys use that instead. It'll talk to ChatGPT too if you can give it access to your private accounts if you want to. If this doesn't make sense to you at all and you want to have lunch to talk about it, just let me know. But these are integrations that you can put into your practice and communications. Where's Cal Beth is not here. Does anyone have a Google Spaces hangout with our office this year? Okay, thank you. Yes, you do that. So Dr. Betha, if Tony goes around and he'll meet with offices, and if they ever have a complaint about having a hard time getting a hold of us, we'll just literally create an inter-office chat on Google Spaces, right? And so our front office team can communicate with their front office team. I like to be in those chats, and I try to, if I'm available, answer first, because I want them to know that I'm watching everything, and I care that the answers are coming out quickly. But that's just an example of how we can work together. Gemini is the Google version of ChatGPT. We tried both of them, and while there was some debate about which was better, I felt that the OpenAI product was the better product, so that's ChatGPT for Workspace for us. Another really well thought of AI that doesn't have quite the brand recognition yet of ChatGPT or Gemini is Anthropic's product called Claude. Claire, where's Claire? Claire's a huge advocate of Claude. She'll take my ChatGPT answer and say, Claude's is better. A lot of times that's what she's right, So. But right now we had to make a decision and we decided to make ChatGPT ecosystem. And then finally, a new product is called Sea Salt AI. How many of you have a phone system, a voice over IP phone system? Like an internet-based phone, right? Okay. And your internet-based phone system probably has a way that if you have the time, you can listen to the engagement your business team person had with the patient. Does yours have that? No. It does. I want you to know that. So, all of us are at the end of the day pretty tired. And I imagine in your drive home, you don't want to be listening to the phone call your business team member had with a patient that called and say, can you restore these 4 implants? And they don't do a very good job on that phone call. And the patient goes to the next place. Or maybe they do a phenomenal job on that phone call. But I think we can agree it would be important to know how they're handling that phone call, right? Because the word of mouth marketing your patients to is going to make the phone primary. And the person answering the phone is probably the least seen person in your practice, and arguably the most important person in your practice. And so what CSOL does is that it will, using an AI, produce a report for you that says, Hannah was very friendly on the phone. What she failed to do is ask the patient to schedule. What she did well was to tell them about the philosophy of the practice. And it will give you this AI-generated report telling you how the people who answer your phone are performing. And if you have one person answering the phone, you can have a pretty good sense of that. If you have like 8 or 10, 12 people answering the phone, then it gets a little bit harder. Okay? And sea salt is fairly new to us. We're kind of beta testing it for this company in Bellevue right now. But right now, the two primaries we're working with are NAVLA and ChatGPT. Let's talk about implementation of NAVLA. So this is a little blue mic. If you were to jump onto Amazon, you'd see these run like $30 to $40 a piece. Then you can get a subscription to NAVLA, which runs $119 a month. So that's the HIPAA compliant ambient AI. And then finally, as I talked about ChatGPT, that is for a single, if you want to just have one account for your practice, you can. The way we have it set up is we have one for each of our office locations, and then we have one for each of our doctor providers, okay? All in the same workspace. So if we enter something to memory, we say, please remember this in our workspace, it'll remember it for all those login IDs, okay? But hypothetically, you could have just one for your office, and each member of the team would have a username and password associated with that. You'd be able to log into it, and you'd have this shared, ChatGPT account. So really the cost of that is a blue mic for each operatory, $119 a month, and then $30 a month for ChatGPT. So the ongoing costs are $150 a month if you want to try to put this in place, right? And this is the blue mic I was talking about. And this is the NAVLA. This female actress is really annoying, actually. Like, if you just see her talking the whole time, you hope you don't talk like she does, but that's the sign language. This is an example of what the layout looks like. So if you look on that left column, the very top left, you'll see it says New Encounter. And so what happens is when you're ready to start a patient conversation, or a phone call, or an online call, if I'm talking to you on the phone, more than likely I have NAVLA pulled up to record the conversation for us, so I can send you a summary of the call that we just had immediately after. It's really helping me be better at that because I'm really bad at making notes after a phone call. And because of the number of phone calls I do, I started forgetting things. So there's only the post-it note way of doing it, it like fails sometimes. So you can start these encounters and you can see the patient encounters that have been happening. And it'll start this transcription for you, at the conclusion of which you can then either use the note NAVLA would create, or you can copy and paste it into ChatGPT. So I kind of want to do this with somebody who's talking. Austin, you're talking. Come on. Come on, buddy. Okay. So, Austin, you're gonna sit with me here, bud. Forgive me, I should have had this logged in already. I'll do this quickly here. This is good work right here.
If it makes anybody feel any better, our YouTube totally went down, so technical difficulties all the way around tonight.
you want real quick, and I'll show you how we do this. And then if you want to, we'll get started. Okay, so really quickly, you guys. Oh, yeah. Okay, so. So this is the login page for Nabla, and so the way that this would work is typically, let's say that Dr. Barufi is my patient, and I'm coming into the operatory. So normally my system would have told me that Austin is ready in 2. I have Nabla pulled up. If you want to come into the room, you can start the consultation. And so Austin, you're going to be a patient that is missing tooth number 10, and we're going to be talking about having an implant. And in this particular case, your referring doctor is going to be okay, is that back on now? So, you can see here when you're talking, it'll have this little thing identifying that you're speaking. And as soon as you start the encounter, now it's starting to transcribe. And Austin and I don't necessarily have to be talking to one another yet. It's going to pick this up. It's going to be able to identify that Austin is a separate person from me. And it's just going to later be able to distill out the non-essential parts of the conversation. Okay? So, hi Austin, my name is Dr. Tom Kane. Nice to meet you. You were referred to my office by Dr. David Kim. How long have you been patient, David?
Long time.
Yeah, he's great. New York. Yeah, he's someone that I have a little bias because we went to the same dental school, but I have very high regard for him. And the reason he sent you to see us is because you have a missing tooth here in the upper left part of your mouth. I understand you were born without that tooth, is that right?
Yeah, I need it.
Well, it looks good on you, and so I don't think we have to replace this, but if we're going to.
I'm going to get it replaced.
Okay, good. Well, Austin, we had a chance to review a CT scan that we've taken for you, and a couple of things really stood out on that scan. So, first of all, it's not unusual when the patient's missing a tooth or they're born without a tooth for the bone, the jaw bone in that area to be a little deficient. And so, when we're reviewing the CT scan, one of the things that I noted was you're still a good candidate for an implant to be done, although we feel like we're going to have to augment the bone while putting that area. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Kim said it was possible.
Yeah. So, do you have a kind of a good understanding what that might be? Or
Yeah, a little bit.
okay, perfect. The type of what we call bone defect that you have is the kind that we can actually do the implant and the bone grafting together.
Great.
Yeah, so you'll only have to have one surgery. The day we place the implant, we'll also take a scan, or what's called a digital impression, using a system called a Trios, and that will allow us to have a temporary made. So in a few months' time after the implant's healed, we'll be able to put a temporary in place that'll help shape and develop the gum tissue for it.
It's pathetic. I got one of those.
Yeah, no, I'm very honest with you, we don't go to that side. We just do the scanning. And after that temporary's been delivered, typically we have you there for about 4 to 6 weeks. We would send you back to Dr. Kim, and Dr. Kim would get you from restoration.
That's great.
When we do treatment like this, you have a couple of different options for how quickly physical and mental state will be reduced. You can be awake like you are now. Last night I think that you would be just fine if you selected that.
Knock me out.
Knock you out. And so with sedation, we have 2 options. One, we can bring an anesthesiologist in to sedate you, or we can provide you with an oral sedative. I think that medium oral sedation would probably be appropriate for you. So you'd still be able to comply if I made a request like to turn to the left or right. But in between those requests, you'd be able to kind of rapidly doze off. Which of those two?
Those moderate parental sedation on docs, those seem pretty cool. I'd probably go with them.
So I did pick the wrong person. Okay, perfect. Well, Austin, it was nice to meet you today. At the conclusion of our visit, I'm going to be introducing you to Claire, our treatment coordinator.
Love there.
Yeah, she's great. She'll be the person going over fees, scheduling. We'll get your prescriptions called into your pharmacy, and Dr. Kim will get a full report of the findings and recommendations. Okay?
All right,
Thanks so much. Nice to meet you, Austin.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah,
So, So now I'm going to quickly log in, hopefully quickly. Let's see what it is. Okay, so now we've logged into our Puget Sound Parallel workspace. And I will go here and I'm going to copy the transcript. And then now I want to prompt this. So the way I'll prompt this is to say, I just had a visit with patient Austin Barufi, who was referred to me by Dr. David Kim for an implant at position number 10. Please provide me with a clinical note that we can enter into the patient's chart. And I'm going to leave these open. I'm going to leave the incorrections in. I'm going to leave the typos in. I'll show you how we'll quickly edit those after the fact, okay? So now I'm going to paste in my transcript. And this is now going to start to produce for me our clinical note, okay? And I may say, I don't not insert format. Make it more conversational. And misspell Dr. Barufi's. Hey, Austin Barufi is all right. And so now when this is done, we can copy that and then paste it into the patient's clinical note. So rather than that consultation, my assistant trying to take down this data, we just had the ambient AI recording it. Rather than pointing out the typos and then going fixing it for myself, I can have this going to fix it. And then I want you to know as doctors, if you have your own login, this will become trained by you more quickly and more adeptly. And so I've gotten quite addicted to this for all kinds of things. I had it write my PowerPoint for me today. Really? You know, I asked it to generate for me slides that would take approximately 45 minutes to an hour to present, and then give me information about the kinds of things that I want to talk to in a presentation like that. And it gave me kind of the skeleton of it. So rather than 4 to 5 days, a couple of hours, it really only took about 3 hours to put the presentation together. And you can use that for things like Tony, whose role in our office is to be a full-time outreach person, right? So he's our director of business development. He's responsible for growth of the practice. We can say put together a weekly, quarterly, monthly, and annual goal set for Tony in this role. What are the activities he should be doing on a daily basis to get best fulfillment on that goal? Today I was working with a new assistant, and so I asked it to help me create a scorecard so that I can tell the assistant, here's how you did today. Here's the things that we need to work on. And making a scorecard like that takes a lot of time, but we can use so in between patients today, it produced this scorecard for me so that I could then sit down with my assistant and basically say, here's how we did on various aspects of their treatment today. And I had a very busy clinical day. So in the way that I was able to redeploy the time that I would normally spend on those other activities, I was able to spend on this activity, right? It's just a more productive use of your time. Any questions about that? Hey, sorry.
Do you do that part generally yourself, where you have AI fix your notes? And do you do that right after the patient, you see the patient, or do you do that in the day, or?
I'm not generating my own notes presently. If you, when you get an email from me, Sahar, typically a member of my team has created the report, I review it before we send it on. But you'll also get like a paragraph blurb from me. The most important part of all that, in my opinion, is that paragraph blurb, and no AI will ever write that. Because that's my opportunity to connect with you, Dr. Kim, Dr. Murphy, and that's going to be very, hey, how's it going, Tony, right? Because we're friends, we're colleagues. AI can't do that. It sounds weird. I'll show you a couple of examples of it.
But your hologram does that, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. So to answer your question, I'm not doing that. A member of my team is doing that, and I'm the first adopter in my practice that's having my team do that fully. Chad, my hygienist who works with me very much hand in hand, he will have that on. And rather than me to stay in the operatory to type the discussion that's being had, now he's usually free, anesthetizing my patient. Because he doesn't have to be tethered to the chair documenting this discussion, because I'm never typing when I'm talking to your patient. I'm always very present with your patient. And your patient will say, Dr. Ken was paying attention to me, he listened to me, I felt very heard. That's the most important part of my job with your patients. And I can do that better now because there's something listening and transcribing that conversation. And that frees up my team member to do something that's going to save me a little bit. I think that on average it probably saves me 90 minutes a day. I think some of my providers, it would save me even more time than that because of how good they are about, their chart notes are beautiful. I think this can help that. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions about that? And so, when I sat down with my assistant for half an hour today, not half an hour, for 10 minutes today, I had this, which I was able to innovate during my clinical day, which then we can incorporate into our workflow. And it was just an idea that I had. I gave the idea to my workspace ChatGPT, said this is what I'm looking for. I got it back, I edited it. I said, here's some sections that I think need to be in here that weren't in there. It'll add them, and then I'll say create it into a document format so that I can download, and then I can download it. I can say put my logo on it, and I can do all kinds of things. Okay. So that was the Nabla, and that was the OpenAI. Let's see here next. I had mentioned that we have a workspace account. So our workspace account looks like this, where each of the providers has an account, our business team has an account, and then each of our locations has an account. When I talk to ChatGPT about what's the right way to set this up, there's no wrong way or right way to do it. You have more control and individuality if each person has a login account. But for us, that would be 40 logins times $30 is $1,200 a month. We didn't want that outlay associated with this, so we just made it a little bit less expensive than that. For Nabla, we paid for 3 subscriptions, one for each of our office locations. You certainly don't need one per provider. The only thing to be a little careful of is that it will allow you to record 2 encounters simultaneously, like 1 encounter in 2 rooms simultaneously. So you have to be a little careful you didn't jump into someone else's encounter. Those conversations look a little weird. And this is really important to me. ChatGPT can make mistakes, so we still have to be the providers, okay? And OpenAI doesn't use Puget Sound Periodontics workspace data to train its models. That's really important, because we're not feeding it into the large data set where we would be violating some of these privacy things. This is important, okay? As far as where we're headed with AI, I'm going to show you guys something that I played around with called Synthesia AI. Has anyone tried that before? You guys know what Synthesia is? Okay. So I'll show you that. Okay. So Synthesia is a program that will it will allow you to make like your own avatar. So it'll record you. It'll let you make a deep fake of yourself, essentially. And I'm showing you this because of how bad it is. and why you would not use. I have a colleague down in California who was so excited because he had ChatGPT create all their scripts. He uploaded the scripts to Synthesia and then used the AI generated avatar to make their post-op videos and things like that. And so I was like, okay, let me see. That sounds amazing. And if it works, it's good. But I have found that, even like I have a very low budget video that I made patients for how to care for the palatal wounds, like my child who was in 8th grade video editing helped me make it. It's well received though because they know it was made by me and the care and the love that goes into that. So, but I want you guys to see this and then discourage you from using it on your own. Hello and welcome to Puget Sound Periodontics. We are committed to providing you with the best care possible. To ensure that your surgery goes smoothly and your recovery is as comfortable as possible, please follow these important preoperative instructions. I'm doing something with my Our team is here to make sure you feel comfortable, safe, and well taken care of at your visit. You will be contacted by your doctor on the evening of your visit, and we want you to know any unanswered questions should be asked prior to your arrival for surgery. You are in great hands at our office. Buy this robot.
Plan ahead. Make sure you have plenty of soft foods at home, such as yogurt, soups, mashed potatoes, and smoothies. Avoid foods that are hard, crunchy, or require chewing. Arrange for someone to help you with aftercare, especially if you'll be sedated during the procedure. Avoid strenuous activities. Plan to take it easy for at least 48 and 72 hours after surgery. Avoid intense exercise or activities that may increase your blood pressure.
Arrange for someone to assist you after surgery, especially if sedation is involved. Having support
supposed to be
ensures you
Dr.
can
Seuss.
focus on resting.
Stop taking blood thinners and certain supplements a week before surgery. This reduces the risk of excessive bleeding. Follow your prescription instructions carefully and bring any necessary medications with you.
On surgery day, dress comfortably and avoid heavy perfumes or makeup. These can interfere with medical equipment. Remember, comfort is key to a stress-free experience. Arrive 15 minutes early for paper.
That's freaky.
1 hour early if sedated. Avoid caffeine and heavy meals. Stick to clear liquids if sedated. This ensures you're ready and relaxed for the procedure. Ensure transportation and post-surgery assistance is arranged. By doing so, you'll have peace of mind knowing everything is in place for a smooth recovery. Let's make your surgery day as seamless as possible.
So, I bring that up because this is like version 1.0 of this software. So if you imagine like what the first iPhone was like between that and what your iPhone 16 is like, this has legs. Something with this eventually will work. When I receive some kind of an AI generated marketing email though, like I'm not interested in it at all. Like I want to know someone wrote it. There's something around the energy that was required behind drafting that still matters to me. I don't know, maybe our kids will be a little bit less sensitive to that. But to me that's still really important, which is why that little blurb of a paragraph is really important. Okay? And the next one I'll show you is it's still me, but let's see if it's so in this particular video, I did use AI to, and this is like a low resolution webcam, but I did use AI to help me with the script because it's just hard to write a script. I mean, if I'm perfectly honest, it'll produce something that you can adjust fairly easily. This is me in a t-shirt. If I were going to use it, I would not use a t-shirt. I just made this on Sunday so I have something to show you. Give it a second, Tom. And this brief presentation is for patients with Puget Sound periodontics who recently had their periodontal or dental implant surgery. This presentation will review solid food diet recommendations to help ensure a comfortable result following surgery. So the first thing we want you to know is we recommend soft foods following dental surgery because we want to help support. The other things that are coming around are going to be, you're going to be able to a skill that will really be, like how watching our parents try to book online travel is hard. If we can't use this to the nth degree, that will be us, for sure. Okay, so understanding how to interact with AIs and prompt AIs to get it to behave in the way that you want will be a very critical skill for us as we get older. Some of the new assistants that I'm hiring right now, we like taking assistants right out of school. They don't know very much about dentistry, but they know their way around this really well. And it's going to be important for us to know how to interact and use this. Some of the things that are being worked on right now in Moonshot are these different agents, and when you use the term agent, another word you could use for it would be a custom GPT, something that fulfills a specific role or task for you. So a marketing agent would be something that you could use to, as I mentioned, plan your strategy, create a customer service engagement spreadsheet you use to say, where am I relative to the number of visits I was supposed to have? And you can just ask it, am I on track with my goal for the year? Something called a refer agent, where you can actually have it mine your data to say, where are we seeing more activity from this year than last year? Where are we seeing less activity? What kinds of cases are we seeing? We want to make sure we're visiting, and if we've got this fantastic dentist and they're doing small case dentistry, do we need to send them to a course on what big case dentistry looks like? Because we know that with that personality, their patients want to have them do their big cases. There's something called resource agents, and we're kind of playing with this a little unsuccessfully, where we had about a 2-year, it wasn't supposed to take 2 years, but it ended up taking us 2 years to put together something called the Clinical and Operational Standards Manual. And so imagine you've got this 100-page document that kind of talks about everything, how everything in our office is supposed to be done, what the standard is, right? So everything from what a greeting a new patient looks like, to introducing the patient from one team member to the next, to how we do a surgical procedure. Well, if we can get to the point where our custom GPTs can be that resource agent, our team members, as they're going through training, can interact with it and say, okay, I forgot how I'm supposed to answer the phone. What's the standard for how we answer the phone? What's the standard for how we greet a patient when they're walking by us in the hall? These are all things that, as tools, that we can actually, there's a fight in the AI right now to make these tools available to us really cheaply, really cheaply, right? So I would just implore you to start playing around with it some. So finally, as I mentioned, you can use AI to help create scripts and PowerPoint presentations. We can combine with our actual provider's image, voice, and likeness to create a video library. We can improve and streamline our post-op instructions, create consistent messaging across large teams. We can have case agents that will follow and help in communication for large multidisciplinary cases. You think about a practice like ours, on the course of a year, we'll place around 1,100 implants with lab communication and 350 referring offices. And our goal is to have perfect communication across that. If we had a digital agent helping us with that, so that no one falls between the cracks, that's a huge win for us. Right? So if I were you, and you have, I hope we're a little interested in the topic tonight, where I would start is I would get a ChatGPT account for your practice. I would engage with the HIPAA-compliant ambient AI like Navla. I would incorporate the use of microphones like the Blue Mic into your operatories, and then start to use the GPTs and other AIs to improve your daily output and recover time lost to your administrative duties. You could even be driving home and record a voice memo, or you could be talking to Navla on your phone, and you could just do your documentation that way. You could upload it to your ChatGPT when you got home, and then send it to your team member to import it into the patient chart. If I'm, like I said, if I'm having a phone call with one of you, I'm definitely having it transcribed in Navla. And Navla automatically deletes the recording after 2 weeks. So there's no option for storing it. It's not an MP4 file. You can engage with your patients and build lifetime value for your practices. And certainly if you give us an opportunity, I think we can help you with that as well, okay? Thank you for your time tonight. Okay, well, I appreciate your time, everybody. Our next meeting will be on April 17th.
17.
Okay, good. And Chad, and my hygienist, and I will be presenting on a great topic for you to include your hygiene teams on how to identify and treat nicotine defects. Okay, so thank you all very much.
Tommy. Yep.